With a mysterious new villain, a surprise twist, and big changes for all our favourite characters, The Witcher Season 2 has tons of details we need to discuss. Yippee-ki-yay, movie lovers, I'm Jan, and in this video I'm explaining everything you might have missed in the ending of Season 2 and what it all means for Season 3. Spoilers ahead of course, so take care. Key to understanding the Season 2 finale is the Deathless Mother, aka Voleth, a demon who takes possession of Ciri. According to Vesemir, the first witches imprisoned Voleth in a hut long ago.
One of the oldest monsters, a demon. She wreaked havoc until the witches bound her deep in the forest.
However, the demon woke from her slumber after Ciri's scream split the monolith outside Cintra. She begins by appearing in the dreams of Yennefer, Fringilla, and Queen of the Elves, Francesca, and manipulates their fears and personal pain. For Yennefer, the demon taunts her about her loss of power after Sodden Hill and promises it back if she takes Ciri to the broken monolith by Cintra. For Fringilla, the Deathless Mother spurs her on to take power for herself by forming an alliance with the elves. This leads the Nilfgaardians to mistrust the sorceress, and when she uncovers their plot and takes revenge, you can hear Voleth cackling in the background, feeding off the pain and destruction she's sown. As for Francesca, the demon takes the form of the legendary elven prophet Ithlinne, who preys on her insecurity about never having brought a baby to term and promises she'll finally give birth to a pure elven child. However, when Francesca's baby is cruelly assassinated, the Deathless Mother revels in her suffering, which gives her the energy to break free from her prison in the hut. The newly liberated demon seeks out Ciri, possesses her, and begins to murder the witches at Kaer Morhen one by one. Notice how she uses the same dagger she used to kill an early witcher.
Cliffhanger was one of the first witchers. That's what she used to kill him.
So Voleth is basically using the same dagger to enact revenge on the school of witches who locked her away all those years ago. Although Geralt arrives to try to break Ciri out of the Deathless Mother's possession, the demon is able to keep control of her by offering her an alternate world in her mind where she can be with loved ones she's lost. And fans of The Haunting of Bly Manor will notice some interesting parallels here with that horror story. Voleth then uses Ciri's scream to split open the Witcher medallion tree, revealing a stone monolith which she splits into shards that attack the witches, before creating a portal that pulls through a pair of basilisk monsters from another world which she sets upon the witches. In fact, this moment was foreshadowed in the 5th episode when Triss and Ciri journeyed into the Valley of Ciri's Soul, and Ciri began to call out to Geralt, who was with Istredd at the site of the shattered monolith outside Cintra. Geralt! Geralt! As Ciri called out, the medallion tree at Kaer Morhen began to crack and vibrate, a clue to the hidden stone inside, and shards of the monolith outside Cintra flew into the air and opened up a gateway that released another monster. Istredd, who'd been researching monoliths, discovered that they were all connected and that on the same day Ciri destroyed the first stone, another monolith began to vibrate, something which led to a new theory about what happened during the conjunction of spheres, the event that collided worlds together.
If the original spheres are still out there somewhere, and our monoliths are calling to them, then the monsters aren't new, they're using our monoliths as gateways.
Although the witches managed to slay the basilisk, the Deathless Mother remains firmly in control of Ciri, keeping her tucked away in the happy memories of her long-dead family.
I'm staying right here forever.
Geralt realises the only option is to find an alternate vessel to Ciri to contain the demon, which leads to Yen sacrificing herself in a callback to her attempted suicide in Season 1, something also foreshadowed in her vision with the Deathless Mother. For Yennefer, this is the moment to right the wrong she did to Ciri by almost delivering her to Voleth, and the spell she casts pulls the demon out of Ciri and into her. Notice how Yen's eyes finally become purple again at this point, because this is the moment her magic returns after being depowered for most of the 2nd season.
I felt it come back when
you sacrificed yourself for Ciri.
Next, though, to get the monster out of Yennefer, Ciri uses her own powers to take herself, Geralt, and Yen into another world. As they all land on another sphere, the demon leaves Yen and reforms itself as one of a group of apocalyptic riders which fans of the Witcher 3 game and the books will recognise as the Wild Hunt. The Wild Hunt is a group of antagonists who are associated with being an omen of doom, appearing before or during times of war, and they were mentioned this way a couple of times in Season 2.
The Wild Hunt walks among us!
They're known for travelling between realms and kidnapping people to use as slaves, and they're clearly after Ciri specifically because of her exceptional powers.
Child of the Elder Blood, stand starry-eyed daughter of chaos, join our hunt. Your place is among us.
By the way, not only does the reddish colouring of this world give it a hellish apocalyptic feel, but it may also be an allusion to the name Red Riders that the Wild Hunt is sometimes known by. The Wild Hunt also appeared during the journey into Ciri's deep subconscious when she discovered she's a descendant of Lara Dorren. Notice the little blue flowers here around the dying elf, which only grow where elder blood has been spilled, like the ones which grew from Ciri's blood around Kaer Morhen. Lara Dorren was an elven sorceress who had a child with a human mage. However, their union was controversial among both humans and elves, which led to Lara's persecution. When Istredd visits Codringer and Fen, he learns about the curse Lara placed before she died.
My curse will hound your descendants unto the 10th generation, until the columns of time and space tremble and open for my people. Then my vengeance will be born again.
The curse alludes to Ciri's screams and her effect on the monoliths, which have now opened portals in space and time that allow interdimensional travel. And it also ties in with Ithlinne's prophecy that predicts the end of the world, a part of which Lara Dorren recites to Ciri during her mind journey with Triss.
The world will die amidst frost and be reborn of the new sun, reborn of elder blood, of the seed that has been sown, a seed that will not sprout but will burst into flame.
Elder blood is a gene that tends to pass on more in the female line, and although Calanthe possessed it herself, the Queen tried to suppress knowledge of her elven heritage. And Ciri witnesses that fear when she sees her mother and father arguing over the discovery of Ciri's elven descent.
They'd kill her if they knew.
It's a prophecy. Maybe it's not true.
It doesn't matter if it's true, it only matters if the people believe it.
And Dooney was right, because Triss is truly terrified after what she sees in Ciri, and reports the matter back to the Brotherhood at Aretuza, who by the end of the season decide to place a bounty on Ciri and anyone protecting her. And talking of Dooney, the big twist reveal at the end is that Ciri's father is still alive and is actually Emperor Emhyr, aka the White Flame. In fact, there was a little hint in Ciri's dream world that her father was still alive, because notice how everyone from Mousak to Calanthe and Pavetta fade away to dust, but he does not. Ciri and her family had assumed Dooney died on the sea voyage he took with his wife. However, there's a secret reason why he survived, which will take us into likely Season 3 spoiler territory, so you can skip forward to this timestamp in case you don't want to know just yet. In the books, Dooney planned to use the sea voyage as a way to secretly disappear with Pavetta and Ciri to Nilfgaard by faking their death at sea with the assistance of the mage Vilgefortz. However, when Pavetta discovered the plan, she decided to get Ciri off the boat before it set sail. This led to an argument later at sea where Dooney accidentally pushed Pavetta overboard where she drowned. Vilgefortz then ported Dooney and himself off the boat, which led everyone to assume that Dooney had also died on the trip. In the meantime, Dooney returned to reclaim his position as Emperor of Nilfgaard, as well as his former name Emhyr. Another twist Emhyr reveals is that he was the one who ordered the murder of Francesca's elven baby, which meant he knew that Cahir and Fringilla were lying to him, so they ended up carted off by Nilfgaardian soldiers. Having the baby killed sends Francesca and the elves north to Nilfgaard's enemy, Redania, who they believe are to blame for the baby's death, and Francesca carries out some infanticide of her own as she casts a spell killing all of Redania's babies. Francesca also later discovers from Istredd that Ciri is Hennikir, the elven term for elder blood, which means the elves too now will be looking for the princess in Season 3, as they will see her as a possible saviour who can liberate them from human persecution. And lurking in the background of this moment and many others in Season 2 is Dijkstra's spy owl, who is finally revealed as Philippa at the very end.
I'm saying word is out about the girl.
Things just got more fun, Philippa.
Philippa is a sorceress in the Redanian court with the ability to polymorph herself into an owl. Notice also the owl feathers on her costume and the talon-shaped ring on her hand. Although Vizimir is the king in Redania, it seems like Dijkstra together with Philippa are the ones really pulling the strings in the kingdom, given Vizimir's overall apathetic attitude to important matters.
Speaking of which, I'm starving, Dijkstra, get to the point.
But there's still another twist to reveal when Dijkstra tells Philippa,
Bring me the bard.
It's about time he paid back his benefactor.
Dijkstra doesn't mention Jaskier by name, but it's heavily implied that the famous bard loved and hated by Geralt appears to now be on the Redanian payroll. This is surprising as I didn't detect any real hints of an alternate agenda during Jaskier's scenes in Season 2, and my best guess is that his fame with his Toss a Coin to Your Witcher song put him on Dijkstra's radar as someone who could potentially spy on the Witchers. That, or there'll be a new bard who's revealed as a spy in Season 3. Another pair of characters with their own agenda are Rience and Lydia. Rience was initially in jail for crimes during Calanthe's reign, but when Nilfgaard took over the city, Lydia came to him with an offer of freedom in return for hunting down Ciri. During this mission he ended up getting half his face burned by Yennefer, an interesting change from the books which I explain in my Easter eggs and things you missed video. Rience managed to steal the vial of Ciri's blood from Kaer Morhen, which he took to Lydia, who attempted to perform blood tracing on the sample. This went badly for her, as we discover in the finale, where we see she suffered significant injuries from the experiment that burned off part of her face, and now she can only communicate telepathically.
I won't let you down again, my lord.
As for whom Rience and Lydia are talking to, I strongly suspect in Season 3 it'll be revealed to be Vilgefortz. In the books, Lydia is the Mage's personal assistant and secretary, and there are clues in the show that Vilgefortz has a hidden agenda. At the end of the first season, he decided to murder a northern soldier, even though he'd gone with the rest of the Brotherhood to Sodden to defend the north against a Nilfgaardian attack. And in Season 2, he begins to act strangely around Tissaia whenever the subject of Ciri comes up, and he seems to be obsessed with trying to uncover what Tissaia might be hiding about the princess.
I wouldn't ask you to if it wasn't necessary!
I expect in Season 3, now that Emhyr's identity as Ciri's father's been revealed, Vilgefortz's true intentions and what he's getting in return from the Emperor will also be disclosed. I'm looking forward to seeing more of the Redanian intelligence network and Philippa's owl spy next season. However, in real life, you might be troubled to know that your own internet service provider may be spying on you and logging all your online activity, which is why I want to thank the sponsor of this video, NordVPN, who offer one of the world's best virtual private networks. Like the Witcher's powerful Quen sign that protects against evil forces, a VPN protects your privacy by encrypting your internet connection and preventing your internet service provider, the government or snoopers, from knowing what websites you're visiting and from reading your private messages. And it's also a powerful tool that can help you bypass geolocation blocks so that you can access content not available to view or censored in your country. Just pick a server in another location and browse the internet as if you were there. Something we especially like about Nord is the super fast download speeds on its 5,000 plus servers, and how it uses next-gen VPN technologies like WireGuard. You can connect up to 6 devices at the same time, including your laptop, tablet, desktop phone and home router, so you can cover all of your connected devices. And with our exclusive holiday offer, you can get a huge 73% off a 2-year plan plus 1 month free. Just visit nordvpn.com/flix or tap the link in the video description to access the offer, or use coupon code FLIX when you check out. So what do you think about The Witcher's second season, and do you have any theories for Season 3? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this then do leave a thumbs up, I really appreciate it. Next, tap left to discover all the Easter eggs and crazy details you may have missed in Season 2. Thanks for watching and see you next time, yippee-ki-yay movie lovers!